This video, we want to look at measurement. So let's start by looking at the definition of measurement. So when we say measurement, what do we mean? So measurement simply means, or measurement is the process of determining the size, length, amount, or degree of something using standard units. Okay, I'll take that again. Measurement is the process of determining the size, length, amount, or degree of something using standard units. It involves comparing an unknown quantity to a known standard. So basically what we mean is that when we talk about measurement, we are just talking about the process that we use to determine the length, the size, the amount, or the degree of something by using standard units. Okay, now these standard units were obtained by comparing an unknown quantity to a known standard. So that is how come we are able to have some standard units that we now compare everything to obtain our measurement. So for instance, if I want to get the length of my exercise book or the length of my table, I just use a ruler which has been calibrated to a known standard for that measurement. And I'm sure that if someone has the same table in another country or on a different planet, and they use the same standard to measure, the length I will get is the length that they will also get for that same table. So that is what we mean by measurement. Now let's look at the importance of measurement, right? So let's look at just some few. So one, measurement ensures accuracy and consistency. Okay, like I said, if we are all given the same quantity of let me say liquid to measure, and we were given the same equipment, we should get almost the same value or the same value when we measure. Depending on wherever you are in the world, we should get the same result. So measurement helps us ensure accuracy and consistency of results or values. Now two, it is very essential in science, engineering, commerce, and even in our daily life. So in our daily life, sometimes when you're cooking, you need to measure some amount of oil, some amount of rice, some amount of water, and all those stuff. Okay, when we talk about the engineers, they need to do a lot of measurements for them to be able to do their construction, building, and everything for us. In science, we also use it in measuring to ensure consistency in the dosage of chemicals that we use for drugs and other vaccines and other things that we normally do in science. Okay, so basically measurement helps us, okay, or it is very important in all areas of life. Okay, whether you are looking at crypto market or something, those things also have measurements that is being important. They are being measured over time on a graph. So measurement is important in every field of life. Now three, it helps in data collection and analysis for problem solving. Okay, so when we have a problem that needs to be solved, we need to do some data collection, and some of these data collections we use we have a unit of measurement that helps us to do the collection, do the analysis, and we are able to plot something against something to find a trend which help us to solve problems. So basically we are saying that measurement ensures accuracy and consistency. It is very important in science, engineering, commerce, and in our daily life. And it also helps in data collection and analysis for problem solving. Now let's look at the type of measurement that we have, the types of measurement. So we are going to be looking at just 5, but we have more than that. So one, we have length. Okay, so the length basically measures the distance between 2 units. Okay, but before I continue, when I'm talking about this length, okay, some of them are base units, we call them base units, and then we have those that we are calling the derived units or derived quantities. Okay, so length, mass, time, okay, temperature, these are base quantities. Okay, we have the derived quantities which are obtained by a combination of one or two or more base units, right? But we'll be talking about that in another video. But right now we are just talking about the types of measurements, and then we say the first one is length. So the length measures the distance between 2 points. So from point A to point B, okay, the distance between that 2 points is measured in length. Now the unit for measuring length is either millimeters, centimeters, meters, or kilometers. Okay, there are other units as well, but we'll be looking at the measurement system, where we'll be looking at the two measurement systems that we have. But in most countries, for measuring length, they use millimeters, centimeters, meters, kilometers, and so on and so forth. Now, the tools that are used for measuring length, we have a lot, but here are some few examples. We have ruler, measuring tape. We also have a lot of other things that we use for measuring length, which is not listed here. All right, so the second type of measurement we want to look at is what we call the mass. The mass. So the mass is the amount of matter in an object. The amount of matter in an object. Okay, so the unit for measuring mass is in grams or kilograms. And then the tools that are used for measuring this mass is either the weighing scale or the balance. Okay, so 3, the volume. Okay, another type of measurement is called the volume. So the volume measures the amount of space an object or substance occupies. The amount of space an object or substance occupies. Okay, so it is measured in milliliters, liters, or even cubic meters. Some devices that we use to measure volume includes the measuring cylinder or the beaker. So 4, time, another type of measurement. So time measures the duration of an event. So the units that we use to measure the duration of an event, which is basically the unit of time, include the seconds, minutes, hours. So we measure time in either seconds, minutes, or hours. Sometimes we measure in days, weeks, months, years, and so on and so forth. So those are some units that we use to measure time. Now, the tools that we use for measuring of time include a stopwatch or a clock. Okay, these are some tools that we use to measure time. So the last type of measurement we want to look at is the temperature. So basically, temperature measures how hot or cold something is. How hot or cold something is. Now, the unit that we use to measure temperature is in Celsius or Fahrenheit. Okay, Celsius or Fahrenheit. So the tool that is used for measuring temperature, like we all know, is the thermometer. Okay, so we have different types of thermometer. We have the mercury thermometer, we have the electric thermometer as well. We have so many thermometer as well. So those are the types of measurement that we have. Now let's look at the measuring or the measurement systems that we have. Okay, so across the world we have two measurement systems. We have the metric system, which is widely used across the world, and then we have what we call the imperial system, which some countries also use. Now, if we look at the metric system, we are saying this is the most widely used system based on meters, kilograms, and liters. Okay, so those of us who are using the metric system, when we want to measure length, we measure it in meters. When we want to measure mass, we measure it in kilograms, and when we want to measure volume, we measure in liters. But those who are using the second measurement system, which is the imperial system, they measure in different units. Okay, so let's look at that. So for the imperial system, this is used in countries like the USA, and it involves units like inches, pound, or gallons. Okay, so you realize that for the metric system, when we talk about length and want to measure the length, it is measured in meters. But for those in the US, they measure length in inches. Okay, so you hear terms like 6 inches or 35 inches TV and stuff like that. Those unit of measurement is the imperial system. Now those who are in the US, typical example, those who are using the imperial system, when they want to measure mass, they measure in pounds instead of kilograms. Okay, so you hear, I want 10 pounds of meat, 5 pounds of this and that. Okay, so they use pounds for mass, and then for volume they use gallons instead of liters. Okay, so that is for those who are in the imperial system. Now let's have a look at how to do some basic conversions related to measurement. So for length, 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter, and then 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. This is very important, and you need to know how to convert between millimeter to centimeter to decimeter to meters and to kilometers if you want to make your calculation life simple for you. You also need to know the mass conversion. So 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams. So based on this preamble, you can do any further conversion that you want, either from kilogram to grams or from grams to kilogram as well. And also for volume, 1 liter is equal to 1,000 milliliters. We also have centiliter, deciliter as well. So you also need to know the equivalence of this unit for you to be able to do basic conversion between units. All right. So basically what we are saying is that, in conclusion, we are saying that measurement is a fundamental skill in everyday life and in scientific studies. And so by mastering this, we can make accurate and reliable observations to solve real world problem. Now, before we look at some activities that will help us understand this, let's have a quick recap of what we have done so far. So we talked about the definition of measurement. We said it is the process by which we determine the size, length, amount, or degree of something using standard units. We also talked about the importance of measurement. We said it ensures accuracy and consistency. It is essential in all fields of life, and it also helps in data collection and analysis for problem solving. We then delve into the types of measurement. We talked about length, its units of measurement, and the tools that are used to measure it. Then we talked about mass, volume, time, and temperature as well. Their units of measurement, and then the tools that we use to measure them. We also spoke about the measurement systems. We said we have two: the metric system, which is widely used, and then we also have the imperial system, which countries like the USA use. And for those who are using the imperial system, for length, they measure length in inches. For mass, they measure in pounds, and for volume, they measure in gallons. Okay, then we looked at some basic unit conversions for length, mass, and volume. We said 1 meter is equivalent to 100 centimeters, and then 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meter. For mass, we said 1 kg or 1 kilogram is equal to 1,000 grams, and for volume, we said 1 liter is equal to 1,000 milliliters. Okay, so here is an activity for you to try your hands on. So you can try to measure the length and width of your desk using a ruler, and then try to calculate the area. Okay, so just to help you, area is equal to length times width, and then make sure that your unit is squared. So if your measurement, the ruler that you are using, is giving you in millimeters, make sure your final answer is millimeters square or squared millimeters. If it is in centimeters, it should be centimeters squared, and if it is meters, it should be meters squared. Okay, another activity you can also do is to use a measuring cylinder to determine the volume of water in a glass. Okay, just to help you further understand the concept of measurement. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. But before that, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and also share with your colleagues and friends who you think might find this introductory video to measurement very useful. So thank you once again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.